be earned, and there is a law that governs this whole universe. Everything operates by a law. Well, Emerson wrote beautifully, Ralph Waldo Emerson, on the law of compensation. And the law of compensation is exact. The law of compensation clearly states the amount of money you earn will be in exact ratio to these 3 points. Number one, the need for what you do. The need for what you do. Number two, your ability to do it. And number three, the difficulty there will be in replacing you. Now think of that. Number one, the need for what you do. Number two, your ability to do it. And number three, the difficulty there is in replacing you. Now, odds are pretty good. The need for what you do is already there. You don't have to do anything about that. Number three will be taken care of if you take care of number two. You may want to think about this for a little while. I thought about it for a long while, and I realized it's pretty true. So you see, you only have to focus on one of those 3 points, and that is number two, your ability to do it. Whatever you're doing, you want to get better at it. Just keep working at getting better at what you're doing. And there isn't any competition.
4 easy tips that you can start to apply right now in order to stop living paycheck to paycheck in 2020. Number one, which is the most important, is to take responsibility. In order for you to change anything that you're unhappy with in your life, you must take responsibility. And I mean for both the good and the bad. You must be accountable for everything that happens to you. You cannot blame your job for why you don't have enough money. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame the fact that you have bills or that you have kids, or you can't even blame the government. It's all up to you on how much money you make. It's all up to you on whether or not you're living paycheck to paycheck. You have to take responsibility for your current situation if you want to change it. So that's number one, take responsibility. Number two is evaluate your finances. A lot of times people don't even know what they spend money on or where their money is going. They don't know how much their monthly expenses are. They don't know how much money they're spending on fixed liability versus variable liabilities, meaning how much you're spending total on the things that you have to pay for versus the expenses that change on a monthly basis. So you need to take evaluation of your inflow and your outflow. You need to take evaluation of what you're spending money on, and you need to take evaluation of how much money you're earning in comparison to what you're spending money on. Number three is you need to create a budget. A lot of people believe that a budget means that you can't spend money or that you have to be extremely strict or frugal with your money, but that's not what a budget is. A budget means that you're going to tell every single dollar where to go. You're going to know exactly where you're spending your money. You're going to be extremely intentional about your finances and about managing your money. You're going to sit down, you're going to figure out exactly how much money you have coming into your household. And then number two, you're going to figure out exactly how much money is going out of your household. And you're going to start to eliminate any unnecessary expenses so that you can, one, get your finances in order, and two, if you have an extreme amount of debt, you want to get a plan in place to start paying that debt down. If you're paying late fees, if you're paying interest on credit cards, all of those things are eating away at your money. They are things that are causing you to live paycheck to paycheck. If you're just spending money without setting a number, without having a budget, these are all things that cause us to live paycheck to paycheck. And then the last and fourth tip that you can apply right now in order to not live paycheck to paycheck in 2020 is to learn how to live off less than what you make. I say this all the time. If you make, let's just say if you make $800 a week, then you should literally be living off of $400. If you make $5,000 a month, then you should be living off of $2,500 of that money. You should not be living off of every single dime. Don't let lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep have you living paycheck to paycheck. You got to cut back. You got to know where your money is going. You got to set a budget. You got to take responsibility, and you got to live off less than you make. If you apply all four of those starting right now, then in 2020, you will no longer be living paycheck.
There are only 3 strategies for earning money. Just 3 strategies. Pay close attention. It's M1, M2, and M3. Now, before I start into them, here's something you want to burn into your mind. If you don't teach your children how to earn money, odds are pretty good they're not going to learn. School does not teach us how to earn money. You can go all the way through school. You can go to Harvard, Oxford, Stanford. Won't matter. They do not teach you how to earn it. They'll teach you how to invest it. They'll teach you how to store it. They'll teach you how to count it, but they do not teach you how to earn it. Now, there's 3 strategies. If you're going to teach your children, you teach them number 3. But let's start with number 1. Number 1 strategy is used by 96% of the population, and it won't work. It never has worked. This is where you trade your time for money. You see, this strategy has an inherent problem. It's called saturation. You run out of time. I don't care how effective you are. I don't care how much you earn an hour. You're going to run out of time. You're trading your time for money. It doesn't work. It does not work. Number 2 is an excellent strategy, but it's only used by 3% of the population. Number 2 is where you invest money to earn money. Now, people in the number 1 strategy, they hear about this, and so they squirrel a little bit of what they're earning away and they invest it, but they don't understand how to invest it, and they usually lose it. If you're going to invest money, you really got to know what you're doing, or go to somebody that has proved that they know what they're doing. Number 3 is where you invest money to earn money. Now, the first 2 strategies are not the one you want to focus on. Here's the one you want to focus on, number 3. It's only used by approximately 1 person out of 100. This is where this group earns almost all the money. 96% of all the money that's earned goes to a very small select group of people. And I'm going to tell you something. I used to think they were really smart. Some of them aren't very smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I started to analyze what the heck was I doing? How was I doing it? I had stumbled on M3. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it. I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you got to be really smart. I knew I wasn't that smart, but I was earning a fair amount of money. M3 is used by 1% of the population, but they are 96% of all the money. These people multiply their time by setting up multiple sources of income. Now, that's the strategy. How do you set up multiple sources of income? Well, some people get that mixed up with multiple jobs. That's not multiple jobs. It's multiple sources of income. The truth is, you can set up sources of income where you're earning money while you're sleeping. And it's never been easier than it is today. With the internet and with the way we're working, man, you can make it.